All right, here we go. We're live right now. Yes, we are, I think. All right, yep, we are live. All right, here we go. We are under a significant, or Chicagoland has a significant flash flooding event occurring right now. National Weather Service calls this a dangerous and life-threatening situation for Chicago. This is something unprecedented. I mean, we've had several days of rain, but we haven't had something as bad as this. But this is what happens when you get a lot of rain in a short amount of time, with the rain having nowhere to go. It is something that should be taken very seriously. They're saying a lot of rain is ponding on highways right now. That includes Interstate 55, 57, 90, 94, 294, even I-80 to the south, but it's not as bad as down there. But if you or somebody you know is in this area, tell them they got to watch this closely. Turn around, don't drown, as they always say. But this is something we got to watch. This flash flood warning goes until 1:15 and includes DuPage County and I believe this also includes Will County. Yeah, DuPage County, Will County, Cook County until 1:15. These are two separate severe thunderstorm warnings, or flash flood warnings. Sorry, they're both until 1:15 this afternoon, with dangerous and life-threatening flash flooding occurring within Chicago. I mean, we've had so much rain the past couple of days that it literally has nowhere to go. This is obviously something that, and you even got the race that's going on in Chicago. I bet you it's postponed yet again. The NASCAR race that's going on in the and I obviously believe that will be postponed for a while. I mean, they had to postpone it yesterday due to the rain that they got yesterday, but they obviously got to postpone it yet again due to all the rain they're going to get right now. We're going to take velocity just to make sure nothing this nature is happening. I think down near Tinley Park, that's not really rotation, but I'll obviously keep an eye on that one. But if you or somebody you know is in this area, tell them they got to watch this closely. They got to get off the roadway. You can't. There's just too much flooding going on in this area that, with all the rain that we're getting, this is a very dangerous situation, especially if you're driving out in this area. Looking around, yeah, nothing too much. There's a lot of storm reports coming in about flooding. It looks like 290 also has some flooding as well. You can read this report. This is from about an hour ago. Flooded viaduct. This is on I-290. This is actually, let's make sure it is real quick. This is okay, Interstate 1 mile southwest of Garfield Park in Chicago. Flooded viaduct with cars stuck with water up to vehicle windows near Lexington and Colmar. So avoid this area at all costs due to the amount of flooding we have in this area. This was as of 1 hour ago. We got one other a little bit further west near Forest Park. Another report, river, and this might be the DuPage River flooding with the basement flooded. Got another report over an hour ago. I-55 near Pulaski has flooding on it. So stay away from there as well. I bet you there's just all this rain's coming down. You're going to get a lot more of those rain reports and flooding reports. This is as of 9:30 Woodridge. This one, up to 6 inches of standing water on Main Street between 63rd and 75th in Downers Grove. So avoid downtown Downers Grove due to the flooding that's going to happen there, or at least between 63rd and 75th. Another report coming in from I-55 near I-355 is another one. More than 6 inches of standing water at the Joliet Road underpass at I-55. And for context here, that's coming off of I-355, going to 55, and then you got that little off-ramp that you have there. This is down in Bolingbrook. Got a lot of flooding going on in the Chicagoland area. Like I said, severe thunderstorm flash flood warnings go until 1:15 this afternoon. We just got a lot of reports of flooding, which is the main concern that we're going to have today. We also got another report of flooding up near Lily Lake. This is about an hour ago as well. I'll read this one as well. Um, Lily Lake is north of Elburn by a couple miles. Widespread field flooding reported with full drainage ditches. Rainfall of 2.19 inches in 3 hours. That is from the live storm reports that's out of the National Weather Service. National Weather Service did receive that report there. I'm just reading through all the flash flood warnings we have here because we got a lot of them. DuPage River is flooded, basement flooded as well. That's coming from the National Weather Service as well. We got another report of flooding in Elmwood Park. This is that might be the Des Plaines River again. Same report, flooding, basement, whatever. This one just came in 3 minutes ago. Street is closed. Vehicle stranded. This is between Franklin Park, River Grove, and North Lake. So if you are familiar with this area, please avoid this area because this is east of Route 1245, north of Route 64. So if you know where this area is at, or you know somebody that's in this area, tell them don't go out because it's going to be pretty bad. Or try to get to an upper level, considering how much rain we've been getting. It's going to start flooding the roadways more. 290 and 294, that area where they run parallel to each other. Okay. Listen, we just got this out of one of the news stations here. All lanes of the I-55, all lanes of the Stevenson Expressway near Pulaski are shut down due to the flooding. Not a surprise because of how much rain we've been getting. State police have closed off I-55 in both directions, so I'm not too sure how far from it, what the exits are. I'll actually get that pulled up right now, but I-55 shut down near Pulaski. Southbound traffic is being diverted to Kedzie, and northbound is being diverted onto Pulaski. It's just due to the amount of rain. I know it goes, I believe 55 goes pretty low down, so obviously all the rain is going to funnel in there and have literally nowhere to go once it's stuck in there. So it's going to be a pretty significant situation down there. So we're trying to avoid I-55 between Pulaski and Kedzie at all costs. If you have to go down that way, try and take an alternate route away from the flooding. But once again, I-55 between Pulaski and Kedzie is shut down due to the flooding. Like I said, flash flood warning 115. We're gonna watch this whole time because we got a lot of flash flooding going on here. Pretty dangerous situation, honestly, because a lot of the underpass, a lot of the bridges that I-55 goes under, it goes pretty far down. So all the flood water is just gonna funnel into all the underpass areas, and it literally will have nowhere to go besides sitting there for a long time. So again, if you or somebody you know is in this area, tell them avoid I-55 between Kedzie and Pulaski at all costs. This is in Chicago. This would be east of Cicero. This is pretty much, honestly, we can look at, I can pull up rainfall depiction here, see how heavy it is. Yeah. See, this is rainfall depiction. This is another radar product I have. Looks like the heaviest rain right now is falling in Berwyn, Cicero along I-290, so 290 may start to get a lot of flooding as well. Just again, try to avoid this area. I mean, it's pretty significant, like I've been saying. I mean, there could be millions of dollars of damage considering how much flooding is happening, how much basements could be flooded here. But this is looks like heaviest rain. We haven't had reports of anything coming off the Dan Ryan yet, off of I-94. There's a lot of rain falling between I-94, where 90 splits off to the Chicago Skyway, all the way down to 57 near Midlothian. I haven't seen any reports coming out of that yet, even though it kind of looks like there's a lot of floodwater going through that as well. So we'll just keep watching this. Obviously, we'll stay alive the whole time until the warnings expire, because this is a situation that's going on in Chicago right now that has life-threatening potential. As the National Weather Service says, dangerous and life-threatening situation. People should stay off the roads today if possible, or stay away from flooded areas. All right, we got another storm report. This is coming from off of I-88 near the 294 and 290 interchange. It's another one of those river and creek ones. It says basement flooded, even though it's on 80. It's right at 88 and Route 38 there. But this is, like I said, pretty significant here. I mean, we got a lot of problems going on, especially closer and closer into the city. I know good and well that the NASCAR race is most likely postponed yet again. I mean, honestly, they scheduled it at the worst possible time. I mean, past 2 days we've had nonstop rain. coming on in Chicago. This is stormfall accumulation. This is again another product we've had. This is the amount of rainfall we've had within Chicago. Looks like right around Cicero. Right, this is Cicero Road, the main north-south road that splits Chicago from not Chicago. The heaviest rainfall in the city right now is pretty much at Cicero, right when 290 takes that little turn to the north. So again, this is probably the worst area to be in today, especially when it comes to driving because of how much rain that's fallen due to flooding. I mean, flooding is pretty significant. Also, north side of Chicago along Lakeshore Drive, and I believe Route 64. I believe that is Route 64 you see on your screen right there. Or no, it's not. Whatever major east-west road that is, that looks like it is. Oh, it is Route 60. Wait. No, that is Route 64. Okay. So yeah, pretty much right around Route 64 and Lakeshore Drive, that intersection right there, that is. There's a lot of flooding going on over there as well. Looks like down southwest side of the city, right along I-55, or I'm sorry, Route 171, right along Des Plaines River. There's a good amount of flooding going on there as well. But here's just a pretty much aerial view of everything that's been going on. This is, let me zoom out a little bit more to the west. So yeah, pretty much there's been so much flooding we've had. Here, you can pretty much see the entire Chicagoland. I'll move back to the west here in a second. We also have more rain coming toward my area as well. We're going to look at this one. In fact, it's still raining right now. This storm is basically pretty much stationary out to the east, or it's probably moving south. Let's just take a look here. Okay, I'm going to show you something. You're probably watching the radar loop here. There looks like to be almost some sort of weird circulation going on here. There's probably the center of the storm that's going on right now, because everything seems like it's spinning right around this area, right around this area. Well, I'll obviously play and see. I'll show you what I'm talking about here. You could probably see what I'm saying. It's kind of spinning. It's not well pronounced, but it's still something to keep an eye on for. But we got, again, flash flood warning till 1:15, including DuPage, Will, and Cook counties. Life-threatening situation, especially in the city of Chicago, along I-55 and along I-290 as well, because of all the rain that's been falling. You see, I'll show you here. This line of rain, I would not be surprised. Here, let me do that again. I would not be surprised if we see a lot of rain reports and flash flooding reports coming out of this line here, along I-57 and I-94, and eventually I-90 as well. I would not be surprised if we see a lot of rain reports coming out of that one as well, because of the amounts of rain that is falling, especially between Flossmoor, Frankfurt, and the city of Chicago. That's a pretty strong line of rain going through right there, and I would not be surprised if we see even more flash flooding as well. I would also not be surprised if we see an extension of the flash flood warning going into the counties of Indiana, which is obviously to the east of Chicago. I would not be surprised if we see any flash flood reports coming out of there, flash flood warnings even coming out of there as well. We also have a report of rain in Woodridge. 1.7 inches of rain has fallen in 30 minutes. That's that's coming out of the National Weather Service. Again, most of the Chicagoland is under a flood advisory. North, or at least north of 88, is under a flood advisory because of all the rain that's been falling the past couple days. I mean, yesterday, obviously, I wasn't here to see that. I was down south, so I wasn't too sure of how much rain we got here, but it sounded like we had a good amount of rain. We got another storm report. This is coming near Brookfield Zoo. This is street flooding. This just came in right now. Vehicle stranded near Brookfield Zoo. This is east of 1220. Not too sure what road this is. This is in LaGrange Park. You can see it right there. And LaGrange Park, it's hard to tell whether, I'm not too sure what road that is, but we're going to get a lot of these flash flood reports. We also have another rain report coming in this is between Plainfield and Shorewood, near I-55 between Route 30 and Route 59. This is in Plainfield. This came in at 10:42 this morning. Over 2.5 inches of rain has fallen since 8:30 this morning. That is 2.5 hours ago. Very dangerous situation going on, again, in the Chicagoland area. I'm trying to read through. I'm trying to see what reports we have that I have not read yet. Looks like we got another. Okay, this one is on I-294. Okay, several inches of standing water on Lake Street and North Avenue underpasses east of 294. So if you're not familiar with this area, I-294 runs is the straight highway through here. 290 curves out to the west. 64, you can see 64 and 20. You can see the markers on that road there. But flooding under the 64 and 20 underpasses. So 294, no flooding yet, but there's a lot of flooding on 64 and Route 20, so trying to avoid this area as well. Again, we're going to get a lot of storm reports coming into, or a lot of flooding reports coming in. The severe weather and flash flooding we're getting. I consider this severe weather, considering it is a threat to human life as well. As of right now, still no significant reports of any real flooding, like really bad flooding yet. But that's good, because the main part of the storm is off to the east. It mainly is east of 94 right now. Yeah, at best trying to avoid this area as best you can, because very significant situation going on here in the Chicagoland area. We also got, like I said, we also got some more rain coming off to the west. This will add even more insult to injury, especially since Chicago's already getting hammered with a lot of rain, and then now you got more rain off to the west moving towards Chicago. So it's pretty much a never-ending cycle for this. More river flooding, this time in Rochelle. It says river flooding, and also gives basement flooded, which I mean, you never know. Basements could be flooded in something like this, because it could be pretty significant here. Just looking around, this is a pretty big storm system that we have. I'll actually play it here. See, it's basically spinning right over the Chicago area. I'll zoom back in here. So you could probably see what I'm talking about here. It kind of is spinning, almost like, okay, you probably know how a hurricane spins. It's kind of spinning like that, except it has no like real circulation over it. It's honestly what I think of it when I see this. But like I said, this is definitely something you should not mess around with, especially because of how significant flooding could be to human life. Read that one, Elmwood Park. We also got that one as well. We're just gonna keep watching. I'm just gonna keep watching this because of how much flooding reports we're gonna get out of this today. This area, Chicago, should be almost completely overwhelmed with all the flooding reports. We've also had reports of flooding down in Dwight from yesterday, when you had that mini supercell that stood right over. It's pretty much stalled right over the town of Dwight before turning off to the north. Luckily, that obviously didn't have, it only impacted a small town, but now we're dealing with it on a much bigger scale. So, again, something you should definitely not mess around with. And we actually got another storm report, like I said, this time down all the way in Homewood, right along that line of storms I said that should pose more threat to flooding. It's another one of those basement overflowed, whatever. Doesn't give any more details than that. Okay, we got a couple more, I think. No, I think I read all these. Yeah. Okay, so we got all these ones here. Actually, did I read the Elmwood Park one? Yeah, this explains everyone. Okay. So, yeah, we should be getting more. Okay, so now I'm hearing Eisenhower and Stevenson, I-290 and I-55, are now shut down, both shut down due to flooding. And I'll pull up storm total rainfall amounts here, and you can obviously tell. Obviously, it's picking up. The darker the color, the worse of the flooding it is. Right over 50 in Cicero. 50 and Cicero, the same thing. Right over 50 and 290, or Cicero and 290. Right as Chicago starts and ends. There's really bad flooding. I cannot remember whether or not 290 goes below or above. I believe it goes below 50. So there's going to be a lot of flooding under that as well. Some of the city streets in Chicago, downtown Chicago, when they go underground or under bridges or whatever, there should be a lot of flooding under that as well. But once this rainfall moves off to the east, then yeah, we'll get more problems in the city. Other big rainfall amounts so far. Up north toward O'Hare, 294, the 294 and 290 region, where like they split off from each other. There's good amount of rainfall coming down there. Up northwest toward Bloomingdale as well, good amount of flooding. Back west, a lot of flooding, especially west of Elburn, between Elburn and Elburn and Maple Park. There's a lot of flooding toward, especially along Route 38 and Kessinger Road that's out there. I'm very familiar with this area, so I got a good amount of names memorized out of here. So yeah, Kessinger Road, 38, Meredith Road, there's a lot of flooding going on there. And then out west toward west of Caneville, south of Cortland, southwest of Maple Park, there's a good amount of flooding with that as well. So it basically, if you see your area somewhere within the blue, just seriously, I have to zoom out a lot, but I can always look around more. Actually, we got another one, more flooding west of Minooka, between Saratoga and Minooka, closer to Minooka, actually. In fact, a news flash flood warning has been issued for the city of Chicago, looks like, this time until 3:15. This might, I don't want to say this, but if worse comes to worse, they may issue a flash flood emergency for the city of Chicago, just based on how much flooding and rain we've gotten since early this morning, honestly. Then it's not ending yet. There's just a lot of hours to go. It's just you got to avoid a lot of roads today at all costs, a lot of major highways, actually. It's going to bring travel times to a very slow speed, considering how bad the flooding is. 290 once again. So once again, 290 is shut down. 290 shut down. 55 is shut down. So try and avoid pretty much both areas at all costs because of how much flooding we've gotten. Yeah, this is. I haven't seen how much where the new flash flood warning is at. This one still 115, and then the Chicago one also 115. So I'm not too sure where this flash flood, this new one, was issued for. I could always pull it up on my phone, see where that's at. Yeah, I still don't see much. Can always see where they might have. What do you call it? Okay. All right. Okay. This is coming from the NASCAR raceway that's going on in Chicago. Holding pattern. There's rainwater that has accumulated on the racetrack. It includes Congress Parkway or I.W. Wells Drive. We think Michigan Avenue. There's a lot of areas it's impacting. Yeah. Chicago officials are now saying avoid all non-essential travel at all costs because it's kind of obvious why at this point. We have so much flooding going on in the city of Chicago. Very dangerous situation. A lot of cars going to be out here as well. So this is, and even with all the flooding, there could be millions of dollars of damage going on right now. But we don't have to talk about that. We don't have to talk about damage and damage totals for a while. But this is just something we got to watch for the next couple of hours, considering how bad we could have the flooding problem here. Because these sewer drains are being overwhelmed with rainwater, and a lot of them have debris covering them, so as the rainwater has nowhere to go, and it's just ponding on the surface. I thought I just saw another storm report come in. I guess not. Got a rain total coming in from. Okay, it's just from normal rain. So these rain reports don't have total amounts of rain coming in, but a lot of widespread flooding going on in the Chicagoland area today. And also we got flooding out in along 294 and 290 near Elmhurst, right where that massive construction project is going on at I-294 and I-290. There's a lot of flooding there too. Downers Grove has flooding between 63rd and 75th. I believe that might be along Woodlawn, I believe it's Woodlawn or Woodward Drive, one of the two. But we'll keep storm. Oops, that is not the one I want. We'll keep storm. Yeah, this luckily this yellow that you see on your screen. Luckily that's not over the city, or at least anywhere over land, because that would be very significant flooding going on there. In fact, up north it looks like a little bit of purple forming near between 90 and 94. I believe that's between Foster and Lawrence, Trying to think of major roads. Foster, Lawrence, Austin. Trying to think of major north-south roads. This is west of 50, by the way. In the east of 43, south of 14. Obviously, when you start to see purple, that's a sign of pretty significant rainfall going on there. Like I said, we also have some south of O'Hare. A lot of flooding south of O'Hare, also west of Bloomington as well. And also out west toward Elburn, Maple Park, and west of Caneville and north of Caneville as well. So try to avoid a lot of these areas that you see on your screen at all costs. We also got stuff down along 171 near the Des Plaines River. That's obviously a very flood-prone area, considering it's a river and all the water can go all over the place. Same thing with the Fox River out by North Aurora, Batavia, pretty much my area. I would not be surprised. I mean, because the Fox River, there's very low water levels because of the lack of rain we've had. So we should be getting a lot more rain coming in there, but honestly not enough to where we'll have a significant flooding problem. Because obviously, the Des Plaines River comes straight off the Lake Michigan, so obviously we'll have more water to flow down and has better chance of flooding over some of the other Chicagoland area rivers. So once again, we got a flash flood warning. It says until 3:15. I'm trying to get more information about that one. I'm also trying to get more information on the Eisenhower situation because Eisenhower and Stevenson are both shut down. I believe both shut down in both directions. We'll just read what this says here. Flash flood warning. So the flash flood warning has been extended until 3:15. So all the flash flood areas, this entire area has both flash flood warnings for Cook, DuPage, Will County. They've all been extended until 3:15 this afternoon. Due to the amount of rain we've been getting, it is just ponding everywhere. The National Weather Service says 1 to 2 inches of rain has fallen within this area, and up to 3 inches is possible as well. Eisenhower is closed at Des Plaines Avenue, as I believe that is east of 43. It's along the Des Plaines River, but Des Plaines Avenue is closed due to the flooding, according to IDOT. Pulaski, both Pulaski, between Pulaski and Kinsey, once again, are shut down due to flooding as well. So if you are very familiar with this area, or you know somebody that's in this area, tell them that they got to avoid this area at all costs. Because in the past hour, Cicero, this area is probably where the worst of the flooding is, between Cicero or right at the Cicero and 290 junction. Very significant flooding event going on there. Also near North Lake, north of Elmhurst, east of Addison, south of Franklin Park. A lot of flooding going on there as well. Bloomingdale has some up north toward Arlington Heights. There's a little bit of flooding that is occurring there as well. Algonquin has some flooding. Near Wakanda, flooding. Northwest of Hampshire, also flooding as well. But it's pretty much a widespread flooding event for the entire Chicagoland area. So if you know somebody that's in this area, or you or somebody you know is in this area, tell them that they got to take this event seriously. Also down near Shanahan, we have flooding, but this is just a widespread flooding event for the Chicagoland area. We're going to stay live on this for a long time now because of the amount of flooding we have and a lot of lives. The amount of lives that are being impacted by this, I believe, is about maybe close to 10 million. So flooding again reported near Pulaski on I-55, which honestly is not a surprise considering what we've seen already. Okay. So again, we're still live on there with this because this is obviously a significant event for Chicago. I don't expect any flash flood, obviously, I don't expect any severe thunderstorm warnings out of this. That's why there's a dedicated flash flood warning. And we're going to look at this radar once again, because I'm telling you, there is a lot of spin going on right over like Naperville and all that as well. Because the stuff out west of Aurora near Hinckley and Sandwich and all that, that's just pretty much staying stationary there. But this is obviously something we're going to watch. And also something we're going to watch again is Wednesday. We got a 50% chance of severe weather on Wednesday for the Chicagoland area. up north into Wisconsin, north of Milwaukee, and all that as well. This does extend pretty far south as well. I can't remember how far south exactly. I believe it extends all the way to Arkansas or Louisiana. But Wednesday will most likely go live on air pretty much all day, just like I did last Thursday, talking about the severe weather. Damaging wind, large hail are the biggest threats as of right now. However, tornado threat, I cannot rule out tornado threat because it's a tornado threat. What do you expect? It's July in the Midwest. You can never underestimate severe threats that we have going on here. Midway. Okay, we got a new report of rain at Midway. Midway Airport has recorded almost 3 inches of rain since 7 a.m. with 1.6 inches of rain falling over the last hour. That'd be between 10:15 and now. So yeah, we're obviously again getting a lot of rain, and I'll be right back. Okay, back for this. So we're actually going to end this now because obviously there's not really too much to talk about. But once again, flash flood warning going until 3:15 this afternoon for Cook, DuPage, Will counties due to a significant flash flooding event. Once again, I-290 shut down, I-55 is shut down, 290 shut down near, I believe it's 290 is shut down at Des Plaines due to the flooding, and I-55 is shut down between Pulaski and Kedzie. So try to avoid this area at all costs. Also flooding occurring in Downers Grove between 63rd and 75th. And just, again, widespread flooding going on in Chicagoland area. So with that, that is the end of this stream. Everybody stay safe out there. Stay away from flooded waters. Turn around, don't drown, as they always say. And with that, thank you for watching, and goodbye.